Good morning, dear friends. This is RATHEESH PGT Economics Kendriya Vidyalaya MADURAI number 2. In the last class, we discussed about the meaning of constitution and why do we need a constitution. Once again, we will recollect the things which we had explained in the last class. India's constitution is the world's longest constitution and it is a written constitution. Preamble of the constitution is the preface of the constitution which explains the essence of entire constitution. Our constitution came into effect on 26 January 1950. Why do we need a constitution? In a democratic country, the elected representatives like MLA, MP, etc. may misuse their political power. The constitution guard against the misuse of authority by our political leaders. And it tells about the fundamental nature of the society. Our constitution tells us about the fundamental nature of our society, and it also includes the type of government, whether it is a parliamentary form of government or presidential form of government. In a country, there will be majority and minority. Minority means the people who less in number in population. For example, Muslim is a minority, Muslim community is a minority, Hindu community is a majority. There is a dominance of majority over the minority. So constitution checks this also. And our constitution guarantees right to equality to all the citizens. There is a right to equality to all the citizens. All are equal before law, without any discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, gender, race, etc. All are equal before the constitution or before the law. Now we will discuss today's session. We will start with the features of Indian Constitution. So when the Indian Constitution was being written at the time, we were going through a terrible situation, India Pakistan division in 1947. India divided into India and Pakistan. So India was facing a lot of problem because of this partition. Anyhow, our constitution reflects a respect for maintaining diversity with preserving national unity along with the eradication of poverty through socio-economic reforms. The first feature of Indian Constitution is federalism. What is federalism? It refers to the existence of more than one level of government in a country. Existence of more than one level of government in a country is termed as federalism. In India, there is many state governments. Tamil Nadu government, Karnataka government, Himachal government, Maharashtra government. Many state governments are there, and one union government is there, central government. Such a situation, such a type of government is known as government system is termed as federalism. So federalism is the existence of more than one level of government in our country. You can also see that there is a three-tier level of administration. Means we have panchayati raj system, grama panchayat, block panchayat, district panchayat also within a state. So we have more than one level of government in our country. Another one is parliamentary form of government. Second feature of the constitution, parliamentary form of government. So our constitution guarantees right to vote or universal adult suffrage, universal adult franchise. What is universal adult franchise? Any citizen of India who completed 18 years has the right to vote. Universal adult franchise means right to vote. Universal adult suffrage means right to vote. So in our country, In our country, citizen elects their representatives. Every citizen of the country, irrespective of their social background, have the direct role in electing representatives. So we form the parliament. We form the parliament. So in India, the government is elected by the people through universal adult franchise system. So representatives, these representatives, MLAs, MPs, etc., they are accountable to the citizens of the country because citizens elected these representatives. They are accountable to the people in our parliamentary system of government. Another feature of Indian Constitution is theory of separation of power. Separation of power. There are, in the last class we discussed, there are three organs of the government: legislative or legislature, executive, and judiciary. Legislature is the law making body of the government. Legislature simply means parliament. Parliament makes the laws. Executive includes a group of people who are responsible in implementing the laws. So the law implementing executive implements the law. It is simply we can mention government officials are the executives. The third organ is judiciary. Judiciary is the law interpreting body of the government. It represents the courts. Courts, judicial system, court. We have high court, district court, supreme court, etc. So the court is termed as judiciary, and this court or judiciary settles the disputes and makes sure that laws are obeyed in our country. So according to the theory of separation of power, all these organs of the government must be separate and independent from one another. So according to the theory of separation of power, no organ will interfere the work of another organ. There should be independency. Separation of power. For example, an MLA represents legislature. An MLA may not influence the executive or judiciary, or judiciary should not be influenced by the executive. So all these organs should be separated from other organ, and these organs should be independent from one another. Another feature of our constitution is fundamental rights. So our constitution guarantees many fundamental rights. What is fundamental rights? There are some human rights which is essential for our all-round development. That's why it is termed as fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are some rights which are essential for our all-round development. They are fundamental. They are essential for each and every human being for their whole development. That's why it is termed as fundamental rights. Our constitution also guarantees 6 fundamental rights, 6 human basic rights to all the citizens. And one important thing is that the fundamental rights are enforceable by the court. Fundamental rights are enforceable means suppose one of your fundamental right is violated, you can approach to the court to the enforcement of such a right. There are 6 fundamental rights, and fundamental rights are enforceable. Means enforceable by court means if it is violated, if any fundamental right is violated, the citizen can approach to the court for the enforcement of fundamental right. There are 6 fundamental rights. I already told you. It's from article 12 to article 35 explains. Part 3 of the constitution explains the fundamental rights of Indian citizens. Right to equality, article 14 to 18, right to freedom, article 19 to 22, right against exploitation, article 23 to 24, right to freedom of religion, article 25 to 28, cultural and educational rights 23 to 30, right to constitutional remedies article 30 to 35. So there are six fundamental rights: right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. This portion is not important in the curriculum, so we will move to the next important feature, and in another class we will discuss the fundamental rights in detail. Directive principles of the constitution, this also not important as per the curriculum. Directive principles of the constitution, apart from this fundamental rights, the constitution has a section called directive principles. Apart from the fundamental rights, there is a section that is termed as directive principles of the state policy, and they are some guidelines or principles to promote the welfare of the people. There are some guidelines or principles to promote the welfare of the people by securing social order in which social, economic and political justice. So these are borrowed from Irish constitution. Directive principles are meant to make a welfare state. These are not enforceable. These are some, for example, pensions. Pension is a directive principle. It means it is a government aid to the people. So it is not enforceable. It is not enforceable. We can't go to the court in order to get it back, because it is to bring equality. It is bring to reduce the poverty. So these are the some of the efforts made by the government to make our country welfare state, or to reduce the poverty, to bring the social justice, economic, political justice, etc. Some principles, some guidelines are there. That guidelines are termed as directive principles of the constitution, and it is contained in our constitution. Part 4, article 36 to 51 includes directive principles of the constitution. Fundamental rights are enforceable by the court, but directive principles are not enforceable by the court, because if one of fundamental right is violated, a person can approach to the court for the enforcement, but if directive principle is denied, he cannot approach to the court. Now we will discuss the last section of the constitution, last feature of the constitution, that is secularism. Secularism in the sense, our country is a secular country. India is a secular country. That means in India, all religion are being given equal treatment. There is no official religion. India is a country of all the religion. Means this is not a Hindu country or a Muslim country. It is our constitution. Our constitution or our government respects all the religion equally. There is no official religion, there is no state religion, all and already we discussed under the fundamental rights, there is a right to religion also. That means we can believe in any religion, practice any religion. It is a fundamental right of our fundamental right of the people to believe or practice any religious things. So our constitution plays a crucial role in laying out the ideas that we would like all citizens of the country to adhere to, including the representative that we elected to rule us. So constitution also respect the secularism. In India, all religion are equally given, equally treated. So these are the important features of Indian constitution. So in the next class we will meet with fundamental rights. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.